The State of Ohio versus Jacqueline Markham. Ms. Markham is before the court with her counselor, Mr. Hust. Ms. Nicholson, on behalf of the State of Ohio, we're here for sentencing. Ms. Nicholson, anything on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting that Ms. Markham be sentenced to a minimum of 24 months in prison. This is not her first failure to comply. This is her first OVI, but she does currently still have an OVI pending out of Marysville that was pending at the time of this offense that she failed to appear on due to being incarcerated on this case. The underlying facts of this case are that when Franklin Police Department attempted to initiate a traffic stop, Ms. Markham did in fact stop, spoke with the officer for approximately 60 seconds. When he asked her to exit the vehicle, she put the car in drive and drove away at a high rate of speed. In fact, the officer believes she had crashed because she was hitting the curbs so hard and he lost sight of her. Turns out she fled to
Ms. Nicholson, folks, would you please sit down?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She fled to her residence where Springboro and Franklin officers cleared that residence, ultimately locating Ms. Markham in a closet. She continued to be kind of verbally uncooperative with officers until she was booked into the Warren County Jail. Clearly, her past conduct has not, and those consequences have not taught her anything. She has not learned from that. So we do believe a prison sentence is appropriate in this case.
All right. Thank you. Anything from probation?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Hust?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. The facts are egregious. I can't quibble with those. I've been through all of the discovery and seen repeated perspectives from the different body cams and so forth. Behind all this conduct is some serious mental issues that have to be addressed with weekly mental health individual sessions and contact with a psychiatric provider to make sure that any medication she has for mental illness are properly adjusted. It's my understanding from a message from her aunt that the aunt would be able to provide a home, a residence for her. I understand there haven't been any rule violations in the jail since she's been held. And I understand, too, that her probation in Middletown, at least the probation there, had been working out. She's entitled to, as I understand, 148 days of credit for time served.
Ms. Markham, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I had a panic attack at the time, and I don't remember much of exactly what happened, which is kind of scary to me. But other than that, I've been in jail for, I think it's 147 days today. And I've been complying and working as a trustee in the pod in the jail. Just a panic attack, I kind of feel like I'm having one now. Like I've been getting them a little bit more so as I age. As I get older, and I had just gotten to counseling to work with different medications for those.
Are you folks with her today?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And who are you?
I'm her Aunt Jan. It's my home that she lived in.
Okay.
And I was her caretaker during this time when she had this episode. Are you aware of her true mental issue?
Am I aware of her true mental issues? I don't have no idea what that even means.
She is a schizophrenic. I gave Bruce all her medical information from Butler Behavior, Atrium Hospital, Access in Middletown. She had an episode, and what the prosecutor's table said is not true. And if you did read the police officer's report, she was out of sorts. I've spoke with him myself as well as read the report.
What did she say that was not true?
She has no memory of that night.
Whoa. You said two different things there. You said what the prosecutor said was not true.
What?
Tell me exactly what she said that is not true, ma'am. And that's what she's being sentenced for today. Do you understand that? So when she says she's being non-compliant, she was non-compliant by definition. I mean, and she's admitted to that. She's been found guilty of that. So tell me what again, tell me again what she said that you say is not true.
May I speak?
I'm going to give you this opportunity.
Well, when I say non-compliant, even in the report from the Franklin police officer, because all of them was at my residence, I'm very aware of what happened because I was there. I allowed them in my home. She was so out of it, answering, doing simple commands was beyond her. When you are in a full-blown schizophrenic episode.
Plus alcohol.
Yes, plus
Okay.
alcohol.
See, here's the problem that I have with what you're saying. And again, I'm not disagreeing that there aren't some mental health issues here.
Oh, they're severe.
Okay. You've lived with it. I have not. The problem is when you have someone that is being, is she supposed to be on medication?
Yes.
Is she compliant with that medication? No.
Well,
Number one, no. And number two, I'm going to guess that her psychiatrist that prescribed her that mental health medication would not approve of her also using alcohol and driving a motor vehicle and fleeing at high speeds from police. I'm just guessing.
well, I don't agree with that either. However,
Okay, so that's what we're here
we
today
had
for.
2 deaths in 3 days in our family.
Ma'am, people deal, ma'am, stop right there. I understand that people deal with grief differently, but when you have a mental health problem, you're on mental health medications that you may or may not be complying with, and you're adding alcohol to the mix, then you're getting behind the wheel of a car and she's driving to the extent where she's claiming she doesn't even remember driving, fleeing from police at high speed. She puts herself at risk. She puts that police officer at risk, and she puts the general public at risk, which I have a duty to defend. So if we're all clear on all of those facts, there simply is no excuse that you can give me, whether it's mental health, drug and alcohol addiction, or grieving a loss of a loved one, because everyone experiences those things. But it's how you respond to those. So today she's here because she didn't respond very well. She broke the law. This is a felony of the 3rd degree. And one of my obligations, and again, I don't want to get into an argument with you about this because you want what's best for your niece, right?
Well, she has not been able to receive the proper treatment. In my county's jail, the nurse, I will have to say, the staff has been wonderful. They locked her down as soon as she got here. Me and the Springboro police officer who had worked with behavior health across the street, that'd been to our home many times, knew she was in an episode. We called over here. They locked her down. When she was released out of that to the general population, the nurse had her call me, and she said, they said I did bad things. What did I do? If she has no memory, and if you understand what schizophrenia episodes are, it's not a choice. No one wants to be a schizophrenic any more than they want to have dementia. And we were only on our second month of medication.
The place where you and I will always disagree is, if someone has a mental health and she's under your care, or when someone has a mental health condition that they recognize that they have it, that they're prescribed medication to help them deal with that mental health situation.
And it's
you've already admitted to me that she was not compliant with taking her mental health medication that was properly prescribed. And on top of that, she's drinking alcohol to the point where she's operating a vehicle impaired. Both of those put people at risk. I'm not going to continue this argument with you.
I agree with that.
Because again, I recognize the mental health aspect of it, but I have an obligation on the other side as well to the general public that when someone drives impaired at a high rate of speed, fleeing from a police officer, we have a problem in our county with people doing that. People coming from Dayton or Cincinnati, they want to come through our county, and for some reason they think that that the police are not allowed to pursue them. It is not true. The police are allowed to pursue them. And when people do not follow the instructions and orders, lawful orders of a police officer, they put themselves, they put the officer, and they put the general public at risk. And I have one or two of these cases every week where people flee from police. And someone's going to have to get the message out that you can't do that. You know, I'm sure you've seen the reels on social media with people sitting in their cars and saying, I don't have.
This sentencing hearing centered on Jacqueline Markham, a woman facing serious felony charges after a dangerous incident involving impaired driving and fleeing from law enforcement. The case drew significant attention, not only because of the reckless nature of the offense, but also because it highlighted the difficult intersection between criminal behavior, mental illness, addiction, and public safety. Throughout the hearing, the prosecution, defense, family members, and the judge all acknowledged that Markham suffered from significant mental health challenges. However, the court ultimately had to decide whether those struggles justified leniency or whether the seriousness of her actions required a prison sentence. The hearing began, with the prosecutor outlining the state's position. The prosecution requested a prison sentence of at least 24 months, arguing that Markham had repeatedly failed to comply with legal requirements and had demonstrated an ongoing pattern of poor decision-making. Although this was technically her first conviction for operating a vehicle while impaired, prosecutors noted that another OVI case was still pending in another jurisdiction at the time of this offense. According to the state, the circumstances surrounding the current case were extremely troubling. Officers from the Franklin Police Department initially attempted to conduct a routine traffic stop. Markham initially complied by stopping her vehicle and speaking with the officer for approximately 1 minute. However, when the officer instructed her to exit the vehicle, the situation escalated dramatically. Rather than complying, she placed the vehicle in drive and fled at a high rate of speed. During the pursuit, she drove recklessly enough that the pursuing officer believed she may have crashed because he observed her striking curbs repeatedly before losing sight of her vehicle. The prosecutor explained that the pursuit eventually led officers to Markham's residence. Law enforcement officers from multiple agencies responded and searched the home. After clearing the residence, they eventually located Markham hiding inside a closet. According to the state, she remained verbally uncooperative throughout much of the encounter and continued resisting authorities until she was finally booked into jail. Prosecutors argued that her actions represented a serious danger to both law enforcement and the public. They emphasized that previous consequences and legal interventions had failed to change her behavior, and that incarceration was necessary to protect the community while also holding her accountable. From the state's perspective, the case was straightforward. Markham had chosen to drive while impaired, flee from police, and create a potentially deadly situation. The prosecution therefore believed a lengthy prison sentence was warranted. Markham's attorney did not attempt to dispute the facts of the case. In fact, he openly acknowledged that the conduct was serious and difficult to defend. He explained that he had reviewed extensive evidence, including multiple body camera recordings from responding officers, and accepted that the state's description of events was largely accurate. However, the defense argued that the case could not be properly understood without considering Markham's severe mental health issues. According to the attorney, she suffered from significant psychiatric problems that required ongoing treatment, including weekly counseling sessions and regular contact with mental health professionals responsible for managing her medications. The defense stressed that these mental health concerns were not minor issues, but central factors contributing to her behavior. The attorney also informed the court that Markham's aunt was willing to provide stable housing and support if she were released, giving her an environment where she could continue treatment and receive supervision from family members. Additionally, he noted that she had behaved appropriately during her lengthy stay in jail and had not committed any disciplinary violations while incarcerated. These factors, according to the defense, suggested that rehabilitation outside prison might still be possible. When given an opportunity to address the court directly, Markham spoke quietly and emotionally about the events leading to her arrest. She claimed that she experienced what she believed was a severe panic attack during the incident and stated that she had very little memory of exactly what occurred. This lack of memory frightened her because she genuinely could not recall many of the details surrounding the offense. She explained that she had been in jail for nearly 5 months and had used that time productively by working as a trustee and complying with institutional rules. Markham also told the judge that panic attacks had become increasingly frequent as she grew older and that she had only recently begun counseling and medication adjustments designed to address those problems. During her statement, she appeared anxious and admitted that she felt as though she was experiencing another panic attack while standing before the court. Her comments painted a picture of someone struggling not only with legal consequences but also with significant emotional and psychological challenges. The hearing then took an unexpected turn when the judge began questioning family members who were present in support of Markham. Her aunt, who had served as her caretaker, spoke passionately about her niece's condition. She insisted that Markham suffered from schizophrenia and argued that the